You ever have one of those mornings where something just feels off? Like the air is too quiet, or the light hits your window weird, or in my case, your pool starts hissing like it's alive. That's what woke me up. This low, angry hiss. At first, I thought maybe a snake got into the yard again, or a raccoon knocked over the irrigation box like it did last spring. But when I looked out the window, I saw the pool lights flickering and this weird ghostly steam rising off the water like it had just gotten hit with a cold front straight from the underworld. 5 minutes later, my phone rings. And it's not just me. The daycare down the street is cold. The assisted living center 2 blocks over has no hot water. Even the fire station lost heating. And the reason why? Well, that's where this whole mess starts. See, 3 years ago I built something under my yard quietly, legally, with the city's approval. A geothermal heating node. I'm a systems engineer by trade, and when the city launched a beta program to test integrated heating across residential neighborhoods, I volunteered my property. Routed everything through smart controls, smart thermal relays, safety locks, the works. It wasn't public knowledge because, well, it was still experimental. But the results? They were solid. Energy bills dropped by 30%. My pool stayed warm without costing a fortune. The system piped warmth to several community buildings without anyone even knowing. And that included my neighbor. Let's call her Brenda. Now Brenda, she's the kind of woman who sunbathes in a full face of makeup and yells at squirrels for being too loud. Platinum blonde hair, so stiff it could deflect hail, always in workout clothes. But I never once saw her do an actual workout. She ran our HOA board like it was a military regime and hated anything she didn't personally sign off on. I was one of those things. My solar panels, my compost bin, the fact that I built a bench from recycled wood pallets somehow at all offended her delicate sense of order. She once wrote me up for trimming my hedge too symmetrically. Yeah, too symmetrically. Last week, she cornered me on trash day, accused me of illegally heating my pool using public utilities. I tried to explain that it was the opposite. I was helping heat public buildings. But she didn't want to hear it. Said she was bringing in her own inspector. That should have been my red flag. Fast forward to the hissing. I go outside, slippers on, hoodie half zipped, and find the pipe casing dug up. Not cracked. Not eroded. Sliced clean through like someone used bolt cutters. And there, caught in the landscaping rocks, was a little thread of leopard print fabric. The kind Brenda wears exclusively. I checked the security footage, and yep, there she was. Middle of the night, face half covered, bolt cutters in hand, tiptoeing through my garden like she's auditioning for Ocean's 11 but forgot to bring a plan. She cuts the line. Looks proud for a second. Then trips over my garden flamingo and almost eats it face first. Would have been funny if the fallout wasn't so immediate. Second call comes in. My buddy at the city's energy department tells me multiple sensors just went dead. Backup systems kicked in, but couldn't keep up. Heating cut off from every single building connected to my node. Parents are posting about toddlers crying from the cold. Elderly folks wrapped in blankets. A bakery lost all their dough because the proofing room chilled too fast. And meanwhile, Brenda's posting selfies next to her now cold pool, talking about how someone sabotaged her warmth. I send the footage to the HOA board and the city. HOA? Silence. No surprise, Brenda's still president. City, on the other hand? Immediate action. They file a warning. Launch an investigation. That's when things really start heating up. Metaphorically speaking. The next day, Brenda marches down my driveway, clipboard in hand, accusing me of utility theft. I offer to show her the footage. She says it's probably AI-generated and threatens to sue me for endangering the neighborhood. I remember just staring at her, thinking, this woman is not just delusional, she's dangerous. Then came the neighborhood backlash. Someone leaked the footage. Social media exploded. Memes flying around with Brenda's face and the words, "The Cold Queen." My favorite? A picture of her holding bolt cutters with the caption, "When your croissants freeze," because someone needed drama. But it stopped being funny when parents started talking about their sick kids, or when the fire station filed a safety complaint. Brenda didn't back down. She doubled down. Claimed I had illegal underground tunnels, said I was storing thermal energy like a supervillain. Even brought in an independent inspection team, which turned out to be 2 landscapers from out of town with no licenses and zero understanding of geothermal systems. They stepped into my yard. I asked them politely to leave. One said Brenda told them to check for gas leaks. I knew what she was trying to do. She saw the word gas in a document and decided I had a secret pipeline ready to blow. Not even an hour later, they triggered a system alarm. Sirens go off. My phone lights up. Thermal pressure drop. Lockdown mode. Emergency services roll in fire truck, police, utility response team. And there's Brenda, standing in her driveway, arms folded like she just won a prize. Fire chief walks over, listens for about 30 seconds, then hands the clipboard to a cop. They read Brenda her Miranda rights. No handcuffs yet, but the message was clear. One more stunt like that, and she's going in. HOA board holds an emergency meeting. Brenda's banned from presiding. Residents vent. Parents, teachers, business owners. One by one, they share what her sabotage cost them. She tries to shout over people, gets drowned out, gets voted out. Finally, city follows up with civil liability. Over $94,000 in damages, plus lawsuits from the daycare, bakery, 5 homeowners. Brenda still refuses to take responsibility. Hires a lawyer. Holds a press conference on her lawn with a folding table and handwritten signs that say no pipes without rights, and geothermal tyranny ends today. 2 days later, her lawyer drops her. The city issues a restraining order. They also officially declare my system a protected utility node. Put up signage. Install the plaque. It's permanent now. Brenda made it permanent. That weekend, I hosted a little neighborhood event, just cocoa, some marshmallows, a fire pit, good people. The pool misted in the cold air. It looked magical. Kids laughed. Adults chatted. Brenda stood behind her curtains, watching, silent. Eventually, she couldn't help herself. Came out with a can. No one remembers her ever being injured and passed out flyers about code violations. One neighbor laminated it and hung it on the bulletin board under the sign, Comedy of the Week. City forced her to apologize. Publicly. On camera. She mispronounced geothermal as gerbil thermal. A kid yelled, "Are you going to cut more wires, or are you done?" That one hit her hard. But the real nail came when the city audited past HOA projects. Turns out Brenda had been skimming fund thousands. Fake invoices, fake expenses, duplicate payments. That koi pond. HOA money. Security cameras pointed at a neighbor's cat. Also HOA money. She was stripped of membership, charged with financial misconduct, faced liens and lawsuits. One morning, I saw her car out front, no plates. Repossessed. Word spread. Brenda was moving out. No one said goodbye. A young couple moved in. First thing they did was tear down the tiki bar. Replaced it with a sandbox. I helped connect them to the geothermal network. That night, the mom looked at me and said, "It's like this place is breathing again." We celebrated with floating lanterns in the pool. Each one with a note inside, something about what the neighborhood meant to us. I added a plaque to the fence that said, "Keep it warm. Keep it kind." You know, Brenda thought cutting one pipe would ruin my pool. Instead, she severed the last thread holding together her illusion of control. And what she didn't understand, what she never understood, is that warmth, real warmth, isn't something you hoard. It's something you share. And that's why we're still here, still warm while she's long gone. So let me ask you this: what would you do if someone tried to freeze out your whole community because of a personal grudge? Would you fight back? Or would you let the cold win? Drop your thoughts in the comment. Was justice served? Was it too much? Or not enough? And if you've ever had a Brenda in your life, well, I'd love to hear that story too. Thanks for watching. Stay warm out there.